Hey guys, how are you? I'm actually going to be doing a takeover for answering any of your questions. Before I start, I kind of want to tell you more about myself if you're first time watching. I've been in the cosplay industry, I would say, not industry, I would say just cosplaying in general for over 20 years. But in the industry working 13 years, maybe more. I can't keep track anymore. Um, but yeah, so I've been working in the cosplay industry, I guess, professionally for, I would say, like 13 years, 14 years. What are years anymore? And I just have fun. So I would love to answer any questions you guys have about cosplay, the industry. Everything is safe, I think. Yeah, as long as it's not too crazy. But yeah, I would love to answer any of your questions today in the chat, so you can type whatever you want to know, and I'm totally game to answering them. So, hi C-Rex, how are you? This is my first time actually on YouTube live. So, hey guys. Hello. But yeah, like I would love to pretty much answer anything you guys have about cosplay in general. Um like armor is good, fabric is awesome. Um like anything about like working with companies, I'm totally game to answer that too. So let me know. Hey guys, I see a lot of you guys in here. Good morning. We were hanging out really late last night. It was fun. Thank you so much. Hi. Oh, you guys have different names. That's right. Engineer Maker, Will. Hi, Will. Nerdy Views. Cecil, hello. Ken, Lucas, Saberwolf. Oh, Marcus. Hi. Rayaka, hello. Hi, Strayed. You're still tired? Get some tea, dude, or coffee. Get some coffee. But yeah, like, if do you guys have any questions about stuff, you guys can answer. What material would you use for my custom say? Oh, the armor? Yes. Well, foam. Foam is very lightweight. Should I answer this professionally? Well, foam is very lightweight. You can barely feel it on sometimes. You just got to be careful though. You can't be just doing everything, like going crazy with it on, okay? So if I make it for you, then just make sure you be careful. Unless I like coat it with resin or something, but yeah. You have your old account on YouTube? Oh snap. Hi Aaron. I'm recognizing some names in here. So I didn't hop in. I saw you guys were up hella late. Yes. I need to fight. No, do not fight him in the armor I make you. If I make you armor, you cannot fight. You cannot fight him. I would be so mad. I would legit run and grab it and put it back on me. So, hi Lawrence, how are you? Yeah, like you guys can ask any questions. Like I'm usually during my other streams, I kind of like go around the questions that you guys ask me, but this one is like full on I'll answer whatever. I just won't answer things about no trolly things, guys. You're up early. Good morning. Good morning to a lot of you guys. Um, so yeah. But if you guys have any questions about cosplay, type it in the chat. I know we usually hang out and stuff, but if you have anything about the industry, I'm totally game to answer. So hi Sean, good to see you. We do have a question. And it's a pretty hard question. I might answer that later. It's not a hard question for me, at least, but I would say it's a complicated question that people might have many opinions on. And I wanted to share my opinion on it too, especially about judging competitions and stuff like that. So, let's see here. So it doesn't seem like you guys have any well, you already asked me what was for your say in armor. I answered that. That's foam. How do you keep your wig from falling off your head? Oh, yes. What? Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So, um, how do you keep first I'll answer the wig, right? There is this elastic band that they sell on Arta Wigs. You can probably buy it on Amazon as well. It's elastic band that is velvet and it has Velcro on it. You wrap it around your head like a headband, and then it will secure your wig. It's awesome. It's under $10. Get it. What got you to start doing cosplay, C-Rex? I actually got into cosplay because I was always a huge nerd. Living in Oklahoma, um, my family pretty much my dad was working at IBM at the time, and he just graduated college, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So her part-time job was actually working. Back in the day, Macy's used to make costumes in bags. So my mom sewed for her job as a stay-at-home mom. She also worked at a bakery, but that soon ended because she had kids. So she was always sewing, and I loved. Hold on, what was it? I loved a lot of cartoons, obviously back then, and I was like, for preschool, I was like, Mom, can we make the costume I'm gonna wear? So we started making costumes together. So that was like He-Man and like GI Joe, because I love Scarlet. So I started doing those kind of costumes. I am a huge nerd. Yes, I like being a nerd. I mean, back then you didn't know you're a nerd. You're just watching the comics, and I mean, watching the anime or cartoons and reading the manga and the comics. So it's not like we knew we were nerds. That's all we had. So, how do you transport your large props and armor for flight and keep them safe? I would have to say you have to get hard shell anything. Samsonite makes really good ones. They make a really expensive one that's like $500. You don't have to buy something that expensive, but one of the things that I can tell you is that when just packing in general, do not waste space. So if your armor, for example, has like your arm armor, put in a bag and stuff it into the arm armor, so like your clothing and things like that, because a lot of times people waste space by not utilizing the empty space that they have in their suitcase. So, oh my gosh, my brother's in here. Hi, Danny. My actual brother's in here. So hi, Danny, good morning. So yeah, make sure you utilize your space in a smart way, because if you're not utilizing everything in your suitcase, like for example, like armor, um your chest armor, and there's a huge gap there, you can put clothes in there too. So utilize your space, Tetris it, and use hard shell everything, suitcases. Let's see here. Ooh, I had a fun idea. Armor. Have you? Hold on. Lauren said, "I have fun idea with armor. Have you thought people might start making powered armors like engines to?" Actually, Lawrence, that's a good. And I actually thought about making armor that would work, but I've seen that for Monster Hunter. So like I have to get her name again, but she made an insect glaive that was working, not actually working like in game, but it was powered and it was really cool looking. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but it was really cool. So I love that. On Nerdy Views, I'm curious about sewing a Shang-Chi. Nice. If you've seen the trailer, his tunic, that pattern on the front looks very complicated and intricate. I don't know where I would start. I would say 100% Nerdy Views, there will be a pattern for that. So if you're talking about his costume, look for patterns that they sell at Joann's that are for Halloween. So a lot of Halloween patterns have something very similar to his costume, and then you can adjust that pattern. Super easy. So if you think it's complicated, it's actually really not, as long as you find a pattern similar in the Halloween kind of section. That also looks like that pattern actually looks like very traditional Asian wear, like Asian traditional costumes. So I would, or outfits. So I would look into that too. So there's a pattern for everything. You just have to adjust it. So I think it's very doable. Let's see. Yeah, it's called Wig Grip. That's correct. Yeah, the wig thing to keep your head, like your hair wig on or your headpiece on, is Wig Grip. When I was a kid, I thought horseradish was made with real horses. Oh dear. That okay. Well, that's not your fault. You caught Hi Red Venom. Welcome. Good to see you. Um yeah, Iron Man suits around the world are very popular. I would say surprisingly, Iron Man's huge in Jakarta and the Philippines and Asia in general, because the reasoning behind that, this is just random knowledge, but when I was traveling to Asia a lot, there was a lot of Iron Mans, and I was like, what is going on here? More than the US at the time. And it was because in Asia, everything Marvel, they ate up so fast, like because they didn't we're so used to Marvel comics in America that in Asia it was very new for them. So around 2010 and 2000, I would say 11, it exploded in Asia a lot. If you're from Asia, please, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, let's see here. There's a lot of trolling. I already knew this was going to happen because you guys are also on Twitch. So like our community is crazy. If we can get real questions sometimes, this is YouTube, guys. This is totally different. All right. You guys are crazy. Good morning. Hello. Yeah. You guys are nuts. You need to relax. So we're not going to talk about butter today. I really want to make a functional, non-functional gun lance prop. There are a lot of people that are, from Japan that have made a functional. Are you talking about actually to shoot? To actually shoot a gun lance? I'm not sure if that's legal, but I would say a functioning gun lance, there is one. Like you're talking about the base form. There are many prop builders from Japan that have made a gun lance functional. Not as in shooting, that would be wrong, like illegal, but or just not, you can't bring that to a convention, but they have made a functional one that moves like a gun lance would in the game. And if you guys are confused, it's Monster Hunter. We're huge Monster Hunter fans. So what's your favorite cosplay? That easily would be answered by just saying Gundam. Anything Gundam, I love. So my Gundam costumes, I would say, are my most annoying to make in a way because I don't really know if there's ever a guide on those. So I have to figure everything out, just like a lot of cosplayers. But I would say I like the torment I give myself for making Gundam costumes. Hi Mira! Oh my gosh, hi Mira. Good to see you. Mira is also on YouTube as well, so it's really great to see you here. Hello, Catherine. Oh my gosh. Hi, Catherine. Good to see you. Switch axe. Oh, hold on. You want to ask about switch axe? Not gun lance? Well, all of them have been made in Japan already functional. Like as in the base form and the movement, but not actually functioning as in you can shoot someone or hurt someone. So I would say that to actually make it functional in that way, I don't know if that's legal. What's up, Night Null? Yo, what's up? How are you? Hi, Dark Virgil. Good to see you. Do you have a favorite brand of paint you use when painting armor? Yes. The thing is, like, it really depends on what armor you're making. But I found like I found some paint that I use. Do you like to hand paint, or do you like to spray paint, or do you like to airbrush? So if you're still new to painting armor, I would say you would have to try all of them to know what you like, because it really depends on um you know what you like as a finish, because I like to use airbrush and also spray can a lot of times. Hand um like acrylics, I like using like different kind of acrylics, like for spray paint. I oh spray paint. So if you're using spray paint, I love Liquitex. I know it's kind of expensive, but Liquitex acrylic is really great. There are a few other brands that I like to use, but Liquitex is really easy to find in America. Um, Liquitex is about $8 to $14 a bottle. It depends, and you can get it on sale sometimes, and you can figure out the finish afterwards. So, if, for example, if you're doing a Gundam cosplay and you want to not use the vinyl with foam method, I would use Liquitex and then use a clear coat on top. And it's really fast. I think I painted a whole Gundam armor set with Liquitex. Drying time is insane with Liquitex too, because it's like only an hour. So it's like pretty dry to the touch. But you always want to wait like 24 hours before, like doing anything, just in case. Um, yeah, there's a lot of Twitch. Well, we mainly stream on Twitch. So, what is your longest cosplay build? How long did it take, Sean? So that's a good question. Actually, my longest cosplay build was about almost 1,000 hours, and it was the Gundam Unicorn. And that was definitely the hardest build I've ever done in my life. I am not an engineer in no way, sense, shape, or form. You don't have to be an engineer, but the ones that are generally, making those costumes around the world are generally like engineer. A lot of them are engineers that I've met in person, and they are very good at it because they know the engineering behind making mecha cosplay. Not like you have to be an engineer. I am definitely not an engineer. I do things for fun. I just build Gunpla. So for me, it was a huge learning curve. So it took me 1,000 hours. That's like also restarting. I restarted the legs of the Gundam Unicorn cosplay at least twice. And that was like a couple, like maybe 200 hours lost. Easily 200 hours, like, or 300 hours lost by restarting. So if you feel like you have to remake something, don't feel bad. It's part of the process. I've done it. It gets very aggravating, but 300 hours lost and then actually doing it right is worth it. So, oh, you're waiting for your paint to dry. Okay, what are you making, Mira? That's exciting. You always work so fast. Like all these cosplays that you're making, it's so awesome. And you make content. So here are the questions. Oh, Lawrence, another question, a really good question. What's something you'd like to see in armor making or become more common in armor making? If you can expand on that question. And with 3D modeling, do you think we might see more engineered cosplay with functional electronics? Yes, I've seen a lot of those. And I think there's going to be more. I mean, I never thought, and maybe this is just me talking like an old timer, but I never thought that I would ever see anything like functioning the way it does nowadays, especially with 3D modeling, resin printing, adding LEDs to everything, which we tried doing that back then, but actually adding those mechanics to it makes everything possible in cosplay, which I think within a year we're going to see more advancement. So I know it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be harder to judge as well. What is your favorite material to make armor out of? I would have to say 100% foam, because of how cheap it is, how lightweight, how transportable, and how you can make foam not look like foam, if you know what I'm talking about, with the Dremel, with different tools, sanding, weathering, all that stuff. I would say foam is number one. What material do you recommend to work for beginners? I would say, Erin, that's a really great question. Foam. I can't say enough about it. I know that a lot of times people think Warbler is the way. I remember when they were promoting Warbler a lot. And to be quite honest with you, Warbler is great for certain things. But I would say if you're trying to make a full armor suit, I would go about it the way that people in Japan and in Asia make their mecha suits. And that is Sintra, which is harder to use, but it's as easy as it is foam. Because of the fact that Sintra, you do not need to, do like a primer or anything on it. You can just use tape on top, like the vinyl, and you're done. So it's really great. You can even use vinyl on top of foam and you don't have to paint. So I learned a lot by traveling in Asia a lot, because when I first started traveling, it was around 2010 for cosplay competitions. And my mind was blown because of how good they were with their materials, especially 40K cosplayers. They were like revolutionary with how they did things, especially in China. I don't know if you guys heard of China Joy, but it's one of the biggest, gaming conventions in the world, and it's bigger than E3. It's huge. So it's, you think E3 is big. China Joy is like, if you go to Asia, that is the place. So I learned a lot by going to like China Joy and places like that, because it taught me that foam was king. So definitely use foam as a beginner. As an advanced person, it doesn't matter. Foam is the thing. How do you pattern out your armor before cutting out the final material? Do you use tape and saran wrap, or something else? I use all of it. So that's a good question, Mira. I use saran wrap and tape first, then flatten that pattern with weights, and then trace it on paper. A lot of people use newspaper to save money, especially in Asia. I know that Malaysia, Philippines, and Jakarta, Indonesia, they're huge on that. I would say even Japan. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on regular paper, use newspaper. That's great too. What We don't have a lot of time. Wow, that was really fast. Linda, what is the best inspirational advice you can give to all cosplayers? To be quite honest with you, I don't know if this is inspirational, but this helped me a lot when I first started. Not to be so hard on yourself. I remember when I first started cosplay, and it wasn't so big back when I started, or I maybe did not know a lot of people. And I learned slowly through the years that the harder I am on myself, the less I can have fun and show my work. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. But for those who are super hard on themselves, I know I am very much that person still. But if you don't just do it, and if you don't just try, you're not going to make anything, or to show, at least. I'm not saying cut corners, but take the chance and try. Because if you don't start, you're never going to finish. That's all. What is your favorite cosplay event? My favorite cosplay event, you're saying around the world. I would say, that's hard. It's really different. If you're talking about America, I would say Fanime is one of my favorite ones. Anime Expo is amazing. PAX Prime, which is PAX West now, by far one of my favorites. If you're talking about Asia, that's really rough, because every event in Asia is pretty amazing. even the small events, because of how passionate people are. I'm not saying that people are not passionate here, but everywhere around the world, I would say, other than America, the way they express themselves is quite different from people here. I think that it's different. It's definitely different. Because in America, it's all about the person. I feel like a lot of times, and it could be wrong of me as saying this, but this is just me from my experience. But in America, they're very focused on them being the character. Like this is, for example, Vampy is cosplaying this character. But in the places I've visited, it's more about the character than the person. So that's why when I've had discussions with, I won't say their names, but really big cosplayers, I would say in Asia, they've had that they've had that conversation with me. They've had that conversation with me and it got real serious. They're like, well, you guys in Asia or you guys in America. And I know this is very controversial to say, but they've said it to me as a cosplayer. They're like, well, in America, you guys do this. And I'm like, wow. It's rough to hear it, but it's true, you know? And in America, because you have to understand America itself, you know? So I'm not saying all Americans are like this, but this is the general consensus of other people in Asia or, Europe or maybe Europe. I don't know. That I've talked to, because they really focus on the character a lot, and that's why at the same time when I first started cosplay, I did not like when people said my name. I wanted them to say the character's name more because I was insanely influenced by people in Asia of how they've done things. And I was like, who cares about me? I care about this person, this character. So, or making the manga artist happy that I did a good job. So, all right. So do you want to answer the 3D print? Yes. Thank you so much, Emma. So, we do have the last question, and it's, do you feel like 3D printed cosplay outfits should be in a separate group than traditional foam and build and cloth costumes if they are being judged in competitions? Okay. So let me stretch my legs because I've been sitting crossed. My legs are dead. I shouldn't have done that. So the thing is, with 3D printed cosplay costumes, I have made costumes in conjunction with friends of mine, and I also have a resin printer, a few of them at my house. Should they be separate group than traditional foam builds? In the future, if it gets this far, hi Milcam, hi Janet. In the future, if it gets this far in cosplay, I wouldn't say that it would be wrong to have a all 3D printed cosplay, section where they're judged, because I think that would be amazing to see them highlighted for their hard work, because 3D printing takes a lot of knowledge, technology, time. It's just as hard, I would say, to make those costumes. So I'm not saying that it should be doing, separate now. And I'm not saying that it is something that needs to be done right away. But eventually, if I see, a category like that, I wouldn't be surprised, But anyway, I would like to emphasize that, there are varying opinions in everything I say. So please don't take any offense if you're, taking this the wrong way. This is just from my experience. So, and this is me traveling 12 years, around the world in cosplay. I just want to say that because I've met so many amazing people and they have questioned me about being an American cosplayer. So I tried to represent the American cosplay scene as well as I could in a fun manner. So I appreciate you guys joining me today. And yeah, I had a lot of fun today. I really hope that you guys had a good time and I answered enough questions for you. So yeah, Thank you so much, guys, for coming. I know this was quite short, but I had a lot of good questions, so I'm happy. Yeah, but hopefully you have a good day, and thank you so much for coming. Of course, I love hanging out with you guys. Um, oh no, Sayorichu, it's okay. It's recorded, so there's a video, I'm sure, that you guys can see. But yeah, but I'm really proud of the American cosplay scene for what they've done so far. So, in the 10 years or 15 years, and there's a lot of amazing people that spearheaded the way for us. So, yeah, thank you so much, guys. Take care now.